my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hello, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, I've got a good feeling about this one. This is our New Year's episode. This is going to be coming out just before New Year's Eve. What are we going to review today?
Well, Dave, we're going to review the sequel to the absolute pop culture phenomenon, Ghostbusters. So it's Ghostbusters II from 1989. As always, starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. I got there in the end, Dave. But Dave, just before we go into that, I'm going to have a discussion over the 12 Days of Christmas #1 that released.
I think that's a wonderful idea, Chris.
Mary Poppins is how I live and breathe, yeah. Well, what are you trying to say, Dave?
What happened to the Brian Blessed kind of delivery there?
Well, anyone who's on our Patreon, and it's on our YouTube channel, get on there, the VHS Strikes Back, 12 Days of VHS Strikes Back, it's called. No, what happened was I tried to sing it. You'd obviously, Dave had put down what we were going to put in, and he'd written it all on that, which was great. And he had to do the old, like we did in the band, he had to do a guide track for me, Dave, so it was in time because I just couldn't get the time at all. I could get the song, but I kept adding like one for your eyes only, and I'm doing it now, Dave. I'm even going into this voice. But I tried to just sing it normal, and I was well off, Dave. And you know yourself when you're off key, and which happen most gigs with me. But I was genuinely, I have an ear for it. So as soon as I did, I was like, this isn't right. So I did one take, it was shit. I did another take, and then for some reason, I just found this. I thought, you know what, let me just try and ham it up. So I was doing a bit of Elvis at first in one of the other edits. So I didn't send over to you, thank God. And then it was pure luck. I just stumbled across this sort of fucking West End voice, came from nowhere. The thing that I despise about what the American people think of our accent, Dave, you know, the hello there, you know, that sort of thing. And it ended up being that, Dave, to try and keep me in key. And I do think it worked really well. Once I got to, you messaged me last night, once I got to 5 Samurai Cops for the first time, I went full on Brian Blessed. I don't know what was going on, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, because you were quite quiet at the first. I think I can hear me a little bit more at the start. And then when it gets to 5 Samurai Cop wigs, that's when full fucking thespian Brian Blessed comes out there. 5 Samurai Cop wigs. It's like, what the fuck is that?
I haven't told you, Dave, but I have actually got a role on West End. And I'm just tickling the back of the throat, getting it back in action. It was so
much fun, though.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, I did the YouTube video, and you said, can you put something together? And I was like, yep, let's have a go. And I just sat there, copy and paste it, and everything works with, you know, much to the action sound for your eyes, and all the pictures come up and everything. I had so much fun. It was ridiculous. It was something completely on the fly on it, Dave, but brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And we have done an accomplishment episode, but that's a Patreon only. A big thanks to our Patrons, actually, for supporting us through the year. So if you do want to support us, guys, get over to your patreon.com/VHS Strikes Back, and that special Christmas bonus is in there with the song, but we've also doing a full evaluation of the year that has been in VHS Strikes Back.
Awesome. Now, Chris, for Ghostbusters 2, what do you remember about this one?
Not a lot, to be honest, Dave. I've definitely seen it because I remember the picture, Gozer and everything, and I'm sure the Gozer character pushes over into the actual cartoon universe because I used to watch a lot of the Ghostbusters cartoon. Is it Gozer? Is that the first one? Yeah. Is it the first one? I remember Gozer in the cartoon, right, Dave? Ignore that, but just carry on.
Do you mean Slimer?
And Slimer's in it, isn't he, on the bus? No, Gozer.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dave, forget that. But I'm in the cartoon. I remember it. I've had a few Jack Daniels last night. It was it was a long session, and 3 hours after going to bed at 1 a.m, Dave, my cat decided to scratch outside my bedroom. Which the cat is an outside cat.
Annoying.
The cat's 13, and we had this long-standing war in my house with Sam and Jordan, where I know these animals better than anybody, and I'm not an animal person really. We've got a dog and a cat. And I end up looking after both of them. So I suppose I'm an animal person by default. The other two love the glamour and glitz of the animals, Dave, but cleaning up the shit, feeding them most days, getting up at daft o'clock to let them in and out, that comes down to me. So Sam decided not to tell me, and the cat won't stay in. It's just weird. He'll stay in all day on the sofa, 12 hours, will not move. Gets to when we go to bed, he wants to go out. And Sam tries to leave him.
Cat.
He's a fucking little... so-and-so, Dave. And and he scratches outside the room. So about 3:30, I'd probably had 2.5, maybe. Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours sleep. The cat was fucking scratching outside. Ew. And I get up at 4 for work, Dave. And obviously I'm not in work today. And I literally sat on the sofa, comatose. No hangover or anything. So we'd had quite a few Jack Daniels and Prosecco's. Absolutely fine. But I was like, this is not what I want to be doing. So it wasn't a good. So anyway, sorry, I know we're off on a bloody a tangent there. We're completely off the subject of what we're doing today. Apologies, everyone. I thought, what the fuck are you talking about, Chris? So, yes, I'm not really with it today, Dave, so apologies on the goals of thing. But I do remember the movie. I remember, especially the beats of it and stuff. But realistically, it's not going to be one of my classics where I go, I've watched this 50 times. I haven't. I've probably watched it maybe once and twice, Dave. And I remember being a kid not really liking it. So, what about yourself?
Yeah, I remember having this one on video and quite enjoying it at the time, to be honest. And I remember, probably even more than the movie, I remember having the game on the Amiga. Got it at one of those... Did you ever go, Chris? There were like these pirating meetups kind of thing, where basically there was this whole leisure club, and it was opened up. You had to pay to go in. Can't remember how much it was. A few quid to go in, and everyone was just set up there with their computers and everything.
No
Amigas, and everyone would have their floppy disks and stuff, and you'd go around and basically all just copy each other's games. Completely fucking illegal, but it was very organised. It was an organised crime kind of thing. Have you ever been to one of those?
No, I actually, a mutual friend of ours, well, family of mine, Dave, our guitarist Aidan, he had an Amiga, and him and Sam's brother, before I was with Sam, when I was like sort of friends with a brother a long time ago, they used to do the same. So there was some local ones in Manchester, and say like they had the latest version of Sensible Soccer. You would just swap games with people, or you'd charge them £1 or something to copy it, or whatever it was. And most of the time it was 3, but I think he said sometimes you get the odd person who's a bit of a dick. And it wasn't them actually, usually, because they weren't actually doing that. I mean, I've had quite a few discussions. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because you could not get away with that now. But at the time, needs must, Dave, the amount of games that were on these floppy disks, you had to go and get dodgy copies.
Well, I mean, you could have paid for them or done without, of course, but...
yeah.
This was not the way.
This is the way, Dave. Yeah.
So, yeah, you used to get all the latest games and stuff that way. So, yeah, it's just, like I say, it's funny thinking back. How the fuck did they get away with that? But, so I ended up with Ghostbusters 2 and remembered playing that quite a lot. Sure, I watched this quite a lot at the time, but I kind of remember the second half of it a lot more than the first. I haven't watched this for years and years, Chris. And, letting you see my cards a little bit, it didn't quite hold up how I thought it did. Now, of course, the first Ghostbusters, your opinion of that was pretty dim, wasn't it? You went on the Comics on Trial with Scott. Got your arse handed to you, really.
All right, Dave. He's only for that.
But you've got no love for the first one anymore, have you?
No, but I will be honest with you, Dave. The fucking first one's like a masterpiece to this fucking effort. Ghostbusters 2 is a fucking disgrace as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I didn't like Ghost just because I don't think Ghostbusters has aged well. It was a movie I loved as a kid, and I think that was it. I always watched the first one. I always used to stay clear of the second one. I think we had a copy of it on video, and I just wasn't into it. I knew it wasn't a good movie. So maybe I've gone a bit early, Dave, and maybe I've underscored the original Ghostbusters because this is not a good movie, and I agree. I mean, there's a few things I want to talk about in it, and again, it does centre around fucking Jimmy Savile, fucking Bill Murray, Dave, I've got to say.
Oh, God, no, again. So, I mean, I think the thing is, for me, I still had quite a lot of love for the franchise. In between, I mean, this had gone 5 years, hadn't it? There were all kinds of disagreements internally. I think the guy who's in charge of the studio didn't really want to push this movie at all, and then people weren't available. So that's why, after the massive success of the first Ghostbusters, they should have followed that up pretty quickly with the sequel. You'd have thought, financially that would have made sense, but. The other guy was more into like his world cinema and independent films and things like that. And so, and he had quite a dim view of Ghostbusters himself. So, and other big blockbusters, I think. So it was only when a new guy took over that he kind of, he tried to get them back on board and ended up having a bit of a, clear the air talks with, Aykroyd and Murray and what have you. I think the guy had said something like Bill Murray. Oh, what did he say now? He said something like, he gives nothing back to the craft. He just takes, as an actor, he just takes and he doesn't give anything back. So, the new guy had to do some rapid backpedaling. But I think because the cartoon came out a couple of years after the movie, the real Ghostbusters, I think that still kept it in people's heads. There was still, Ghostbusters was still very much there. It was getting played on video. You had the cartoons as well. So when it came out, I still think the franchise was pretty popular. But yeah, I think the fact that I don't remember that much about it, and it's not viewed, too well by most people, that, it says a lot about it, doesn't it?
It does really, because, I mean, Ghostbusters is an absolute phenomenon, Dave, isn't it? And obviously, our good friend Scott loves it, despite what I say, and he ripped me to pieces in Comics on Trial, didn't he? So, on Comics in Motion Network. So, I think, to be honest, the first movie created this world. Everyone was like, oh, great, this is brilliant. The cartoon was the one for people our age, I think. I'm not trying to speak for you, Dave, but I know, especially, I was really into that, the Ghostbusters Turtles, which you've talked about before, around that time, really was into it. And I think the cartoon was the flag bearer for the show. And then obviously we get the sequel. But yeah, I mean, some of the stuff you've said about Bill Murray already is what I want to talk about. It's not about his character this time, as in being a sleazeball, Dave, but just his overall performance. So yeah, I have a big problem with it this time. And that's not because I've gone out looking for it, but yeah, it's just a very bizarre film.
Yeah. Well, let's get into our trailer.
Let's go.
At the stroke of midnight, on New Year's Eve of the last decade of the 20th century, America's largest city is about to pay for the nastiness of its inhabitants. When that day comes, when the slime starts to rise,
the Titanic just arrived.
When ghosts start arriving by the boatload,
We gotta find the guys.
there's only one thing to do.
Sometimes weird things happen. Someone has to deal with it. And who are you gonna call? All right, suck in the guts, guys. We're the Ghostbusters.
The superstars of the supernatural are back to nuke the spooks.
2 in the bar! box.
Ready to go.
We be fast and
They be slow.
Make some time.
Don't put any of those old cheap moves on me.
no.
It's different.
I have all new cheap moves.
Raise your spirits.
If we don't do something by midnight, you will be remembered in history as the man who let New York get sucked down into the 10th level of hell.
And kick some slime.
Looks like a giant Jell-O mold.
I hate Jell-O.
Oh, come on. There's always room for Jell-O.
Happy New Year.
Close 'em.
Ghostbusters 2.
You're short, your belly button sticks out too far, and you're a terrible burden on your poor mother.
Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis, and Ernie Hudson in an Ivan Reitman film. Ghostbusters 2.
We're the best. We're the beautiful. We're the only
Ghostbusters.
We're back.
Who you gonna call?
Now, this is set 5 years after the Ghostbusters saved New York City from destruction by the demigod Gozer. And the Ghostbusters themselves, they're being sued for property damage that was incurred and basically barred from investigating the supernatural. Ray and Winston work as unpopular children's entertainers, and Egon is working in a lab experimenting with human emotions. And Peter Venkman hosts a television show about psychics. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this one?
Fucking rubbish, Dave. I'm not holding back on this.
Straight in there.
Straight in. What I found weird about it is obviously Ray and Winston are the first two we meet at the kids' party. The kids' party had basically taken the piss out of them, aren't they? They've got the music on, I don't believe in no ghosts and all that. And then
He-Man, don't they?
Yeah, He-Man, Skeletor, they want all Ram Man. But yeah, it doesn't, I don't know what it is, Dave, about this movie, but from the get-go, it doesn't feel the same as the first one. And I loved the first one. It was just so poor this time watching it all these years later. The first one's so much better than this. And I think what really, really winds me up is obviously we see them at the party, we see a bit of Egon. We do see a bit of Sigourney Weaver with the baby. The baby sort of goes on a little jolly jaunt on its own, doesn't it, Dave? Because it's sort of like getting possessed type of thing. It's in New York, love the city. Obviously, Dave, the sad thing is, as we're recording this, a year to the day, I went to the Ghostbusters house. That is truth. Yeah.
Nice.
So we're recording these everyone on Christmas Eve, and Christmas Eve I went to Carrie Bradshaw's house, the friend's house, Staten Island, 9/11, Brooklyn Bridge, and we ended up at Ghostbusters. We did 14 miles, Dave, that day, walking. It was horrendous. My feet are still recovering now. But yeah, it's so weird that recording this now. I've literally just come across that now. But yeah, it was Christmas Eve. We were there, and I have the picture took outside the Ghostbusters firehouse, which is still a firehouse now. I mentioned that on our Ghostbusters review, the first one. But yeah, I have a real problem with is Bill Murray. Bill Murray is like breaking the fourth wall through this whole movie. Like obviously he's cocky and he's always like sort of sloth, lazy guy, isn't he? And I know he was a proper sleaze in '84 and he cleaned up his act slightly in this because even Sigourney Weaver cottons on. She goes, I'm not falling for some of your sleazy moves. And he went, I've got new ones. So there's a couple of bits where I sort of smirked. I was like, oh, that's not bad. He's a bit more aware of his character. But all the way through, I thought Bill Murray, Dave, was completely disrespectful to everybody. And when you said that about him not giving anything back, I feel he was taking the piss out of the audience, his co-stars. I don't know what it was about his performance. And I love Bill Murray. I love Groundhog Day. I love that film. We'll have to do that at some point. But I just felt this was literally...
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I did, honestly. Groundhog Day is a brilliant film. I've Got You, Babe. I love that movie. But this for me, Dave, was him literally playing it by numbers for the money because I feel his performance through it is just taking the piss out of everybody.
What I would say is I did think he'd dial back the sleaze.
Yes.
So, I mean, he was particularly sleazy in the first one, as even Scott agreed, didn't he? But that was just part of his character. I didn't think I thought he was a bit more charming. He was written to be a bit more charming in this one. He's kind of nice to the baby, isn't he? You know, I mean, this is 5 years after New York, so let's not forget, you know, they saved the world. Everyone got a standing ovation, lots of claps, you know, including Dana when she came out. So they'd obviously had some kind of relationship, you know, at some point then. And in between then, in 5 years, Dana's broken up with Venkman, gone off, met someone else, got married, had a kid, and got divorced. She's been fucking busy in 5 years, hasn't she?
It's a hell of a 5 years, that day.
Yeah. But I think, yes, getting back to Venkman, though, I do feel like he was sort of sleepwalking through it. And that's maybe what you're talking about in terms of taking the piss out of everyone. I just felt to me like he knew he was the star, but he just couldn't be asked. He was just sort of walking through it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think that's an absolutely perfect description of how I felt his performance was there. I'm not a bloody there understanding the craft of acting and stuff. I'm far from it. I'm sure he was doing a bit, but I agree. What you've just said is exactly right. He was just fucking blagging it all the way through and very arrogant. He seemed... It's hard to describe this. It seems like he was being more arrogant, Bill Murray, than Peter Venkman. And I could see it in his performance, you know, as if to say, well, they're just going to lap up whatever I do anyway, so I'm just going to dick around. And that's how I felt watching it, which I felt like Dan Aykroyd again. He was probably one of the strongest ones in the first one. I wasn't a big fan of him as a kid. I love Venkman, but I sort of go more towards Dan Aykroyd, knowing that he's written it and all the other stuff. I think that's great.
Yeah, so him and Harold Ramis, obviously. I mean, I think you're right. I think probably between Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, they're probably two of the stronger ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, I do like how basically, you know, Egon's running these psychological experiments, and just he's got that couple in there, and you know, he's just essentially trying to piss them off to breaking point, isn't he? He's like, turn up the heating. You know, this person's now going in to tell them they've got to wait a bit longer. Just messing with people's psychology as part of these experiments. But if I compare it to the first movie, it started with a bang straight away, pretty much, didn't it? You have that opening in the library, and then you have they disturb the old woman and decide it's a good plan to rush her, and then she turns into that, you know, skeleton type ghost thing, and it's a bit scary, isn't it? You know, and you get some music, and then it's straight in there, and I do think, you know, for what we said negative about, you know, Venkman's character, the movie is just charming. And I think the way this one starts off, it does feel, the whole thing just feels a bit lazy, because in terms of a story, okay, I can kind of buy it that they're being sued. Everyone's forgotten about them. I mean, it's only 5 years. I think, Chris, this is like Star Wars. This is like 30 years after the Jedi have been decimated. They're now an ancient religion. You know, so 30 years classifies as ancient. I think this is the same kind of thing, because they were everyone's hero and saved the world literally 5 years ago. And now they're going in doing children's parties and everyone hates them and wants He-Man. I don't know if that's more of a meta thing that they're saying, you know, in terms of the general public in 88, 89 time. You know, people have kind of forgotten about Ghostbusters. They're the old news. Now it's all about He-Man and things like that. But, I mean, one thing I did remember, Chris, is that iconic painting.
Yes.
And, you know, it is quite haunting. Now, the actual guy, so Vigo, is the big bad in this one. He's played by Willem von Homburg. And he's actually in Die Hard, Chris. He's one of Alan Rickman's crew.
Oh, is he?
Or Hans Gruber, isn't it?
Right, yeah. He's one of the baddies.
He's one of those, yeah. He's one of the goons. Now, he had a good voice, didn't he?
Mm.
Well, I think he might have done. because it was the old fucking Christopher Reeve job, right? The actual voice was Max von Sydow's, Ming the Merciless there. But no one told Willem. And so he went to the premiere.
Fucking Superman 1, isn't it, Dave?
It's like the kid who played Christopher Reeve and then finds out that bloody Christopher Reeve's overdubbed his voice. So old Willem turns up to the premiere and then storms out when he finds out it's not his bloody voice.
That's not good. Max von Sydow was in Force Awakens. He died, didn't he, earlier on this year? But
Yeah.
I didn't realise he was Ming the Merciless, Dave.
Got me questioning now.
No, he might be.
Merciless.
I just didn't realise it was him. That's so bizarre. That he had a hell of a career, though. Hell of a career, Max von Sydow. But I think as well that picture, you're right. That picture is the standout thing. Obviously, in the first one, we had the funny Marshmallow Man, slimy, the car, all that stuff, Ecto one, and all that. I think you're right. I think this feels more of a cash in, and the actual. The story behind it's pretty similar to the first. Obviously, again, for some reason, it centres around Dana, Sigourney Weaver. I tell you who I hate, Dave, is that Peter McNeil. He was that of Ally McBeal, who plays Janos. That accent is terrible. It's like he's fucking doing a Borat accent. Obviously, before Borat.
I don't actually know what it's supposed to be.
I don't know what it is. He's supposed to be some camp European guy, isn't he? I don't know if he's supposed to be like German or Russian. I don't know, but he is terrible in this movie. He really is bad in it.
He got quite a lot of praise actually from this movie, but I don't know. I don't know if I find his character annoying or him annoying. I'm mixing up the two, but I've never liked him either. I mean, Sigourney Weaver is a tall lady, isn't she?
Yes.
And you've got this little fucking shorty who's trying to chat her up. And the weird thing that I find, Chris, is when he gets kind of electrocuted, the painting kind of comes to life, doesn't it? Gives him a bit of a zap. I can't really tell if he's supposed to be possessed or not.
Yes. Yeah, I had a problem with that. I didn't understand that at all because he didn't change in his persona. I thought he was going to change into this really strong, nasty bastard. Part of Vigo's personality was inside of him, and he didn't, did he?
No, he was just himself. And even later on, he's kind of having a conversation with Vigo in the painting. And he's saying, because Vigo basically, he needs to inhabit the body of a baby so he can come back to life. And Vigo's saying, well, if you're going to do that, well, can I have the woman? Can I have Dana? So he's bargaining with him. So he's not possessed, but when the story demands it, he kind of appears to be possessed. And I just found that horribly inconsistent. Yeah,
and you know what, Dave? It's very true because when Vigo actually zaps him once, and I mean just once, he literally accepts it. He doesn't run out and go, holy fuck, what the hell is this picture fucking zapping me? He literally just goes, right, yeah, no problem, I'll get you a baby. Yeah. I was like, no problem, yeah, just fucking electrocute me. I'll just go and rob a baby off someone. But I don't know, that bit was just ridiculous. And then it went on, he had the candle bit, didn't he? Like he was doing a cult thing, talking to Vigo and all that and trying to get him back. I think the only bit of the movie which did make me chuckle was at the start was the psychic bit on his show Venkman, and that woman goes, "The end of the world is singing. I was possessed by a man, and I met him in a bar. I wasn't with my husband. I went back to a room, and Venkman does look at the camera and say, "Fuck off, yeah."
No, come on. If Bill Murray's great at anything, it's that
it is, yeah.
It's that knowing look, isn't it? It's like. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on, we all know this.
Dave, that is one of the best excuses ever. Get caught with your pants down. I was possessed. I'm sorry, I was possessed. It wasn't me. It was an out-of-body experience. Yeah, whatever. I did like that. I hold my hands up. That is Bill Murray 101, Dave, breaking that fourth wall, which obviously he's doing it within the show, isn't he? We think he's looking at us, but he's not. He's doing it because he's recording live TV. But I did enjoy that. And then someone says to him, people think you're a fraud, and he goes, I am. That was the two bits that got me in the movie, but the rest of it, because what I found weird was Bill Murray did not have the Ghostbusters suit on at all. He totally disassociated himself from the guys pretty much until they got out of prison. And I'm not trying to jump too far. I found that weird because he literally, it felt like he didn't want to be part of the gang. And I can't work out if that was intentional or not until the end, and he had to be to save everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, they were trying to make him a bit more sophisticated, a bit more of a nicer guy. Like he's taking Sigourney Weaver, Dana for meals and all this stuff. And his whole reaction, but the madcap stuff that was going on was just stupid. It wasn't funny. Like that, and they go down the sewer. And you've got Winston goes for one, and then you've got Ray and Egon. They go in, and they've got them like pajamas on from like Laurel and Hardy or something, or from the 30s, the 40s. The whole Long John's outfit and everything.
Yeah.
And obviously, Dave, we do get one of the best bad guys of one of the greatest, shittest movies ever out of No Holds Barred, don't we?
You're going to talk about Kurt Fuller, aren't you?
Who's terrible.
He's basically the same character in this, isn't he? He's just this fucking sleazeball who's got a paper-thin motivation, hasn't he? He just, for some reason, just hates the Ghostbusters. Now, what I would say, though, is when they find this kind of mood slime, in this abandoned railway tunnel, and Ray nearly gets caught up, these Ghostbusters do not give a shit, do they? Because they just start fucking drilling through a bloody in the middle of a road with no permit or anything, and they're just like, the cops coming along, and what are you up to there? And they're just blagging them, and just So actually, now I'm thinking about it, I guess if you were a city official, you would fucking hate the Ghostbusters because they just go up causing fucking public damage everywhere.
Yeah, that was quite a weird segment. And I know they were doing it to try and get rid of the police and that, but how bad was that scene when they were doing the New York accents, Dave? The same thing where the copper comes, then the official.
It's like ours, isn't it? Hey, get out of here.
You get your low. Yeah. But no, but the thing is, we're English, so we can get away with it. I'm not saying Americans. I mean, it's like us, isn't it? We have regional accents that we can do impressions of. You could probably do Mancunian. I could do a Scouse accent. They're not going to be perfect, are they, Dave? But we will get them in the neighbourhood. I get they were over-exaggerating, but it felt too much the other way. Like really ridiculous.
You know what I found particularly strange, right? So again, some of the designs of some of the ghosts in the first one, like Slimer, it's obviously like a Muppet, or a puppet, whereas other ones are just very human looking. When the Ghostbusters are being sentenced by the judge, who does a massive fucking 180 when the ghosts show up, but the ghosts do show up, and then he recognises them straight away as two brothers that he sentenced to death. And I'm like, I'm watching Muppets Christmas Carol here. Just clearly Muppet.
It was them two guys, the old guys, wasn't it? Waldorf and fucking whatever they were called, Dave.
Statler and Waldorf.
Statler and Waldorf, yeah. That's it reminded me of. And straight away, you reckon they look nothing like human beings. And he just released the Thingy Twins. And I'm like, oh, fuck off.
And it's one of those, isn't it? It's like, all right, we're watching a make-believe movie, but it felt that took it too far away from reality for me. It had to. In the first one, it sort of made it a bit believable. Like I say, that some of the design of the ghosts were a bit silly, but a lot of them were just very human and I don't know, the fact that he recognised these brothers, and then, of course, he's just been tearing strips off the Ghostbusters. A couple of ghosts show up, and then he'll fucking drop his trousers for them. He's fucking wanting, them to basically just sort it out. Meanwhile, like you say, old fucking Kurt Fuller there, who's playing like a city official, still absolutely hates them, doesn't he? For no reason at all, probably, other than just digging up the place. But decides, even though these ghosts show up and cause this wanton mayhem, decides to throw them in the nut house, and it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, you know what though, Dave, and I'm going to be controversial, and I love Scott. I hope Scott's listening to this, Dave. But in the two movies, right? I know obviously the baby's under threat, and even with Rick Moranis when he gets attacked by that dog thing, doesn't he, in his apartment? That
in the first one,
yeah. But all the people in New York are fucking stupid because they all go like they go to a concert. Everyone turns up and claps. Now, if someone says to you, there's a guy down there with a fucking gun or whatever, whatever there is, the first thing you're going to do is go the other way, Dave, aren't you? You're not going to go to it. But in New York, in this New York, in this movie, every fucker's there like the big celebrity. Yeah, because, and I tell you why, Dave, the ghosts don't do anything to anybody. It's not like they kill anybody or they do anything. They just scare people, and like even in a haunted house or something, like a proper 50s movie. They don't. In the whole two movies here, there's nothing to me. We don't see anyone get killed. I know it's a PG, but there's no threat realistically to life as such, other than this Vigo with the kid. But everything else, the two Waldorf and Stadler guys, the people we see through the movie, they're not a threat. Even Slimer's driving a fucking bus, Dave. You know what I mean? So it's like
he's helping out Rick Moranis, isn't he?
Oh yes, hopefully it's when he became a goodie because he was with him in the cartoon. When he was a good guy in the cartoon, Slimer.
So it was literally because of the cartoon they put him in the movie.
Yeah, he was dead popular, wasn't he, Dave? Everyone had the figures, and I think I had a little figure of Slimer. Because I think I had Venkman as well as a little, because he had the proper figure, didn't he? I didn't have the XO1. My mate had that. He always wanted that, Dave, I must admit. But I don't know about you. What do you think of that? Because I just feel like watching it now, it's like, but they're not really a threat to anybody. They don't do anything really.
No, I mean, I'd said in the first one, hadn't I, that basically, Slimer's he's just grabbing a hot dog. or 10. He's not actually doing anything. He's not bugging anyone. Most of the ghosts just aren't. They're not even frightening, like intentionally frightening people. Now, to be fair, Vigo there is trying to take over the world, and Gozer is trying to take over the world. But most of the ghosts are just happy, just chilling out and just being part of the scenery, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. You said it about the woman at the start reading the book, didn't you? She didn't do anything
and they
wrong.
Just go, imagine, Chris, you yourself, forget the ghosts, you yourself are just fucking stood there reading a book, and then three douchebags just start to fucking try and jump you. You're going to bite back a bit, aren't you?
Of course you are, Dave. You're going to fucking... The old Hulkamania top's coming off then, Dave. It's on, isn't it? You'd be the same. You would be, wouldn't it? I think the one thing in this movie, and I forgot about it, so because they did the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, so obviously Vigo sends a ghost, actually, to come and get Dana's baby.
Oh, Oscar. My heart was in my fucking mouth, though, when the baby stood on the end there.
And it was walking, which was unusual, because he was about 4 or 5 months old, wasn't he? But yeah, obviously for the movie, they did it all. I was the same, Dave. I was the same, like, oh, fucking hell. But the ghost comes and takes him away. But Dana, she's not that arsed that a baby's been captured, Dave. You would be absolutely distraught, wouldn't you? You would. God's only true. Touch wood, it never happened to anyone. But you wouldn't. A bit like Kevin McAllister's dad in Home Alone. What? We've left him. We're in Paris. He's in Chicago in the house. He's only 8. Fuck him. We'll get a thingy tomorrow. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Yeah, whatever. And that's how he feels with her. But the one bit that I think is fucking atrocious is when all this happens and they're like, right, this ooze stuff. We've got like an antidote. We've got this other sort of thing which will suppress it and get rid of this mood thing, is let's go and get the Statue of Liberty. And I forgot all about that scene. And because they did the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, they had to do something else. Yeah. And it's fucking terrible. That is... honestly, I was like, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely nonsense. And she's even got, Egon says, I can't put Nikes on him, Ray, because of the tread or something. But I was just like, people were accepting it. The fucking Statue of Liberty is walking down fucking Fifth Avenue or wherever it is. I'm just like, I'm out at this point, Dave. I'm just like, this is fucking shit.
It does feel... I don't know whether it's just rushed or lazy, this script. But I mean, they'd gone. I think what Aykroyd and Raimi were trying to do. They were trying to, tell a story about, people just be nicer to each other. Getting towards the late 80s, everyone was being a bit, selfish and not very nice to each other. The old Gordon Gekko, greed is good, all that kind of attitude. And so they were trying to tell a kind of story. And so I think that's where this kind of mood slime comes from. But basically, they've gone from a lab experiment where they had a jump-in toaster to thinking, they've now got a walk-in remote-controlled Statue of Liberty. And again, the old backpacks, I couldn't quite work out, because sometimes they shot slime, sometimes they were the old style, plasma streams. And it was just a bit weird. But again, like you say, all the New Yorkers had crowded round. It seems, they're a tough crowd, aren't they? They either fucking love the Ghostbusters or hate them.
No, it's ridiculous.
As soon as a few ghosts turn up, it's like, let's not enjoy some time in with the family. Let's go and cheer on the Ghostbusters.
That's what I mean.
Sure, it'll all go well.
They're putting themselves in danger, right? And this fucking guy could potentially take over the whole planet and all this stuff. And he's trying to come back to a life form. And New York looks like it's on its arse. And everyone's just cheering like they're at some fucking Celine Dion concert or something there. It's just fucking stupid. But that really jars with me, that bit. I just thought it's terrible. It really is. And I think you're right, Dave. You've hit the nail a few times. I just think it's lazy writing. It's just something it might have been a script that, like you said about being in limbo for 5 years. They might have written this script as the first one came out and just never changed it. And it may have worked in 85, but not in 89. I think it had just aged 5 years was a lot.
No, I think they only kind of. I reckon it's more likely that they only put together this script in 88. I reckon they've knocked together this script quickly. After smoothing everything over with the studio and whatever, knocked together a quick script, shot it, released it. Fuck it, that'll do. As Noel Gallagher said about the third album.
A bit like our fucking Christmas #1, Dave.
Exactly like our Christmas #1. One take, that'll do. Yeah. Oh, man, you said you did a few, didn't you? It was one take for me.
Yeah, anyway, well, we were talking about 10, weren't we? Remember?
I was thinking of doing that because I was going to make it like a whole football crowd type thing, but I must admit, I tell you what, Chris, right, digressing for a second. I found myself quite out of breath, singing that. By about halfway through, I'm like, fucking hell, I might have to pause this and take a breath. So I just found myself getting really out of breath with it.
We're getting old, David.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though, Chris, you're saying about Dana, she should have been a lot more beside herself, than she actually was. But the worst example of that is where basically you've got the baby, lying there right in front of the painting, right in front of Vigo. And she stood there with this short-ass little fucking doctor. They've both got party hats on. And she's just stood there looking at the baby.
Yeah.
You'd be going fucking nuts, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. She accepts a lot. And the thing is, Dave, Sigourney Weaver's a good actress, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's not fucking shit. She's a good actress, and honestly, I just find the whole thing bizarre with her. She really does not play it by numbers, but they don't use her again at all, do they? It's a bit disrespectful. She's done Aliens at the start of the 80s and stuff, and Aliens, and then you come to this, and you're like, this is fucking nonsense. This is just like, she's totally under, because there was, as much as what I think of the first movie, there was a good dynamic with Venkman, wasn't there? Like with Bill Murray. She had a little bit of good chemistry.
Yeah.
And they didn't use her. She was just literally a background part person. She was just basically the mum of the kid. And it was a shame, really, because they could have done the old possessor again, or she does something. Because you would run through a brick wall for your kids, wouldn't you? That's what I'm really daft.
You'd be going fucking mental, wouldn't you? You'd be kicking, screaming, scratching, fucking doing anything to try and save the baby. And the fact that she just stood there with a fucking party hat on while you got fucking short ass with this shit-eating grin on, I just found fucking bizarre, really.
Grin. makes me laugh when you say that.
But yeah, I mean, I guess for the story, they're saying they have to use the Statue of Liberty so it gets goodwill from everyone. So the old mood slime, everyone was too kind of down and depressed and a bit miserable. So, that allowed them to open up that bit in the roof, didn't it? And then they could kind of climb down from that. I mean, again, massive fucking stretch just so they can get the equivalent of the staple of Marshmallow Man. But then they get in, and again, Chris, so they've decided this mood slime, it reacts to moods. So, or sometimes it just makes ghosts pop up. They get in there, and then they decide to zap the doctor there. What's his name? Dr. I had it a minute ago. Janos. Let's call him Janos. Dr. Janos. So they spray him in mood slime. And then he comes around like he's like, oh, what happened? Well, why am I covered in this slime? Have I been to a Michael Barrymore party?
Allegedly, yeah. Fucking hell, Dave. I wasn't expecting that.
I like to throw you off occasionally. But what, Chris, made them think that was a good idea in the first place? And why does it fucking wake him up? And why is he acting now like he's possessed when he was just essentially acting like himself before?
I don't know. I think that's where the inconsistency is, Dave. It's literally just himself. I think he's just a really bad actor in this. Anyway, I think he's a good actor. I've seen him like Ali McBeal. He was a right little bastard in that. I remember watching that. We used to love Ali McBeal, me and Sam. But yeah, he's a very, very poor in this. He must be one of his first acting gigs, realistically. But I think as well, Dave, the logic behind it all is like, well, it was never going to work anyway, was it really? Let's be honest. In real life, and even in the movies, the whole pretense of this, and we can stretch this universe as much, really, you can do whatever you want to New York, it just didn't work at all. And the budget was it 30 to 40 million on this, Dave? And I can't for the life of me tell you where that went.
Well, you've got a lot of animation effects in there, haven't you? So, and I imagine just to get those back, the main team, the main cast, I reckon would, in 89 would have cost you quite a bit as well. So, I mean, it does seem quite expensive, but I think it was a disappointment, and it essentially killed the franchise for a while, didn't it? It's been resurrected in recent years, and obviously we're going to see Afterlife next year, aren't we? Or in theory we are. So, well, I tell you what, Chris, I spotted a little cameo in there. Did you spot Cheech Marin?
Yes, when the Titanic was raised, he was there, wasn't he? I realised straight away who it was, Dave. It must be one of his first ones, because that was pretty good, that. Boss, you're not going to believe this. The Titanic's just docked. And all the ghosts come out. That was good.
Never.
It was good. It was good, that. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Like I say, it must have been pretty cheap at that point, but I mean, they kind of managed to get this Vigo back. He tries to possess the kid. They rescue the baby, and then he ends up being this demon. I forgot that he'd kind of possessed Ray for a little bit.
Yeah, I forgot that because he kept looking in his eyes, didn't he? I'd forgot that as well, because he turns around, doesn't he, at that one point, Ray, and he's gone all dusk till dawn. Because he's looking at him. It's very strange, that. Very strange.
Well, again, though, I think the fucking slime seems to save them, or, again, just a bit weird how that worked on him. I just didn't get it, this end bit. How they kind of got him.
Look, Dave, we have to do it, don't we? We do all this stuff because it's what it's about, isn't it? It's, it's the end. I class the Ghostbusters, if I'm being honest, Dave, as the first two movies. I'm not interested. A bit like Beverly Hills Cop. I love Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. And I've got all three of them on a special collector's edition. It's a DVD, actually, not a Blu-ray. The third one, I fucking hate. and I love the first two because the first one's dead gritty. There's these gags that are relative to the world, but it's quite serious. The second one goes a bit more slapstick, but it's still serious. And the third one's just a fucking joke of a film. Eddie Murphy just completely balls it up, which I know they're making a Netflix Beverly Hills Cop 4, actually. That's because he's just done Coming to America. Funny, Annie. Have you seen the trailer, by the way?
No, I've not seen it yet.
The trailer's pretty good, actually. He gets dressed up again. I used to love Coming to America. But anyway, back to this. This feels like it's just these two movies. Even the one with Chris Hemsworth's okay. And I know the one they're going to release next year. You know, we see the car and I've seen the bits of the trailer, little teasers. I'll watch it, but I'm not holding out much hope. It's sort of like passing the baton on, isn't it? Because Bill Murray in that's fucking 70-odd. So they can't have him come back.
Well, they'll do what they have been doing with all these franchises recently, won't they? You know, they'll bring in someone new. You know, they'll have the older characters there for the nostalgia, bring in all the old crowd, but they'll have some newer crowd. Maybe it'll be their sons. Maybe the fucking baby's grown up, Dana's baby.
Yeah, true.
He'll take over the baton now. He's got his own law firm or something. But you know, I don't know. I'm hopeful. You know, this next Ghostbusters movie that's going to come out, it's not going to be like what I think this movie is, where it's a rushed script, or it feels like a rushed script. You know, they've had a lot of time for this, and you know, I think they have a lot more iterations with different writers. You know, and they'll have script doctors that look at these things. So I'm quietly confident. I think the new one will be good, and I'll be looking forward to it. But yeah, just I must admit I'm a bit disappointed with how this one has stood up for me, and just in a completely different way. You know, we talked about the first one and Venkman and that kind of thing, but this one is it's just not very good. You know, it's just there's no new ideas really, is there? There are no new ideas. It just seems to be it's trying to tell a weak kind of story about, you know, be nicer to each other, be happier, you know, through this whole mood slime thing. And yeah, just all a bit shit. And again, just so many things don't make sense. I mean, at the end there, you had the little painting of the Ghostbusters, you know, in place of this horrible Vigo, you know, this character's gone, he's been zapped. And then you inexplicably have this painting of the Ghostbusters there and the baby. Just makes no sense, does it?
No, it doesn't, to be honest. And I think you're right. The more you talk about it, it's literally a rinse and repeat of the first movie, isn't it? Pretty much. The same Sigourney Weaver, Peter Venkman. We've got a big bloody Statue of Liberty this time, not Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which obviously was a baddie at the time. I think they executed better in the first one.
I tell you who's better in this, Chris. Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis is good.
He's good, isn't he?
Yeah, he is good, actually. We didn't give him. We hadn't even talked about him as Lewis.
No.
And he is good in it. To be fair, Dave, I'll give you credit on that. You're right. And I'll be honest, Dave, I don't know about you, but I have a bit of a crush on his girlfriend, you know.
On Janine.
Yeah, she's really
when
pretty.
She's got that little glass ball.
Oh, yeah. I was like, yep.
Yeah, so again, Janine's kind of look, they kind of took that more from the real Ghostbusters, the animated series. But yeah, I'm with you there, Chris. I was thinking that myself.
Yeah, I don't remember personally liking her when I was a kid, but 42-year-old Chris is like, yeah, definitely.
Well, I think when you were a kid, she was much older, whereas now she's younger.
yeah, true. That's a very good point, Dave. So, Dave, shall we get into our scores?
Let's go.
Right, Dave, I'll go first for this one as we go into the new year. I think you're right. Everything you said, I can't disagree with any of it. We both think the same, to be honest. Like you say, Rick Moranis gets a save at the end there. He is pretty good in it. it's just not a good movie at all. If you're into the Ghostbusters, then you'd like this. It's definitely well below par the first one, and I didn't like going back on the first one, sadly. I wish I'd parked it and just had the memories of it. The problem I've got, Dave, is I know that it's just a shit movie, and I know these worst movies I've put to the bottom, and I don't know why I can't put it above it, but I think I'm just going to have to put it to the bottom, Dave. It's just going to go to it's not thinking now, is it Dantooine? It's Alderaan. Yeah, so I'm sending it to Alderaan. At the top of Alderaan, to be fair, it's not absolutely horrendous, but it's just poor, and it's an hour and 40 that you can do without. So if you've not seen it for ages, unless you're like our good mate Scott, who loves Ghostbusters, don't fucking bother, because it just is proper shit on toast for me. It really is. So what about yourself, Dave?
I think you're being I think you're being particularly harsh there. Now, I think even though I've not really had a great deal to say about this movie at all, I don't think it deserves to be locked away and never seen again. With that said, I'm personally probably never going to watch it again. If I want my Ghostbusters fix, I'll watch the first one. And you know what, Chris? I think as much stick as it gets, the 2016 one, with, like you say, Chris Hemsworth's in it, isn't it? But, you know, the Ghostbusters, the ladies, you got Melissa McCarthy in there. I think I'd watch that one before this one. I think it's genuinely a better movie.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing really about this one that's original. It's just like a diluted, pale imitation of the first one. And so, yeah, I don't think it should be locked away, never to be seen by anyone again. But I don't think it's very good. So for me, it's going to Elm Street.
Cool. I was umming and ahhing, Dave. I genuinely was, but I just think it's piss poor, to be honest. But yes, I have no complaints with that. So, Dave, what a year we've had. And like I say, if you are one of our patrons, get over there if you've not listened to it yet, guys, and give a listen to our year in review and our sing-along. And if you just want the sing-along, get over to our YouTube channel, The VHS Strikes Back. Dave, thank you, mate, because we've done an episode every single week. We have not missed a podcast. You know what me and you are like? Once we're committed, we're committed. So we've had 52 episodes pretty much this year, bang on the money, and we've had some atrocious movies that I have stitched you up, you stitched me up, fucking John's even got in on the act, and Glyn have done us, Dave, and even our good friends from the Predator Minute podcast, Dave. So these people who are Patreons, as much as we love and love your support, they're getting on the act now, Dave, as well. So all I'll say to you is bring it fucking on. Give us more of this nonsense, because as much as we love a blockbuster, we also love the shit. Because that, I think, is when we're at our best, when we're roasting something sometimes, Dave.
We absolutely do. And again, thanks again to our Patreons, our executive producers for this episode. So John and Jeff across at the Predator Minute podcast. We've got Brent from the Cinema Chat podcast. We've got John Hammond, and we've got Tony Farina as well, of course, from Indie Comics Spotlight. Now, Chris, you say bring it on for next week. We did get a little tip off. This was a movie that I'd never personally seen, but when we did the Movie Chef podcast, they mentioned a little movie starring Rowdy Roddy Piper called Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Oh my God, is that what we're doing next week? I've not even checked the diary. Dave, you are a see you next Tuesday.
You did say bring it on.
Oh my God. Yeah, but it means I've got to fucking watch it now. Oh no. Right, okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, miss. Because I love a bit of Rowdy Roddy Piper, wrestling legend, Dave. So yeah, I can live with that.
And the thing is, I did look in the calendar and it's just actually next week is down as Chris's pick. But since you haven't picked one yet, I think
Dave, I'm not having
we'll do Hell Comes to Frogtown. And then before we record next week, you've got to figure out what your pick is.
I promise you, I promise everybody I'll pick something good for my first pick of the year. Because we started off last year with No Shit, No Surrender 3. So we're starting off with Hell Comes to Frogtown. So I won't be too bad on you guys. I'll pick something that I love. And I've got a few cogs going already, Dave. So leave it with me. And you, Mr. Horrocks, will have my pick very, very soon.
Reflect for a moment on the art of cinema. Think of a motion picture like The Last Emperor and the 9 Academy Awards it so richly deserved. Consider the profound emotional experience of a truly great film. Then forget it, sweetheart.
Yes, better blow it out your exhaust pipe, cinema lover, because here comes fun with hair on it.
Oh, that's disgusting.
You're gonna see the biggest piece of shattering entertainment that ever molested your sensibilities.
That sounds great.
Want a plot? Here it is. It's the end of the 20th century, and mankind has blown its wad. The fate of humanity rests in the groin of one man.
Their leader, Commander Toady, has kidnapped some pilgrims who wandered into their territory. We're gonna get him out, and then you're gonna get him pregnant.
Yes, if you want a brilliant film, you can go right to...
We're going to Frog Town.
Hell Comes to Frog Town. Starring wrestling superstar Rowdy Roddy Piper. Move over, Mr. Mel Gibson and Mr. Robert De Niro. Here comes acting talent and sensitivity like you've never seen.
You are one weird dude.
And speaking of talent, turn green, Ms. Meryl Streep. Here's Sandal Bergman, the exquisite star of Red Sonja and Conan the Barbarian. Hell Comes to Frog Town, a story of mutant sex and people like you and me. It's hot, it's wet,
And it's bad.
it's Hell Comes to Frog Town.
Nice. All right, mate. Well, thanks very much for the year. All our listeners, all our Patreons, have a great new year. However you're going to celebrate it, let's hope 2021 is a fuckload better than 2020.
Amen.
I'll see you next time.
Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back.
That's odd.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
Get to the chopper!
One ring to go.
All right. Ding, ding.
Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on, ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid fool. Yeah, maybe you stupid. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I'll see you in 6 months.